Pocket of Light has been something that's really been in me for about 15 years. I trained in the Meisner technique out in Australia, and in that journey I experienced such an incredible level of truth and such beauty on stage that it changed my life. And all I wanted to do when I came back to England was to bring that level of truth and that reality onto the stage.
Pocket of Light is a dream come true, really. We began this process as actors who train together, work together, have gotten to know each other at the best of times. Being an actor in this current climate is so challenging. So it's a dream, really, to be able to come together and work on things that we all feel connected to. And, we get to do what we love.
We all come from Actors Craft Studio. We all train together, so we have these disciplines, these acting techniques where we share a language, really. We obviously bring that into Pocket of Light, so having that shared language is just so different, really. Because I could work on different projects and all the actors have their own approaches, and that's great, but just having something like this landing pad where we can come together and have something that we share in that way as artists, that's what makes it different for me.
Having Seb, who is our director, who is also the lead teacher of at least the Meisner technique in the acting school, means that our teacher, our lecturer, is in fact the one who's directing the plays as well, which I think gives a really great dynamic to the kind of acting that we can do.
I wanted to have a group of actors who really understood each other, who were united by a technique, and to create work that really would change people when they saw it. It was authentic and real and would have a deep impact on people.
So we've got our first successful application for Arts Council money. So for the first time we're funded, which means for the first time we'll be properly paid for our work, and it's a really big step for us to move into the world of making theatre and also actually making a living. That has secured this first phase of R&D for this project, the untitled Lucie project.
Doug has always been someone that I connected with, and an amazing writer whose writing I always felt very close to in terms of it meant something to me, and I could feel the passion of it and the drive of it, and I liked that.
Rarely do you have the writer in the room working with the actors to write a piece. Most of the time they come into research and development that they've written a piece and maybe they will tweak it after that process, but happening live was it was inspiring that we could inspire Doug and be inspired by him. So it was a give and take, and I don't think we get that as artists. So that was really lovely.
I found it really interesting because obviously every writer has their own process. Doug has his own process. He works a lot on music, the stream of consciousness. A lot of the time it was us discussing things with him, with each other, brainstorming sessions, backwards and forwards, playing a scene out, then changing the scene.
Doug has been writing, but we've also been mining our own consciousnesses for ideas. So we've been doing things called free writes. Doug started with these 3 words that were really taking his interest: hidden, missing, and alone.
We've taken these initial words, and from that we've spitballed, we've free associated, and those first 2 initial scenes that he's created with us are going to form a nice strong basis, I feel, for moving forward.
Doug, as a writer, he said historically he's not really written from the female perspective. So including the voices of the women in the room from the cast, he started to explore this for the first time, now at 72, to stretch into the possibility of writing a female character. And it looks like one of the central characters in this play will be a woman called Delia.
It's an incredible experience. You're talking about an amazing writer with a very unique voice, but unfortunately someone who has also got huge struggles right now with his mind, with his physicality. It's those very obstacles that are in the overcoming of them that you actually create something very unique and special, that without those obstacles you wouldn't be able to create that thing. It's precisely because of those things that make it so unique what we're doing.
Here it's all quite unknown, so starting with just a couple of words and then just seeing what evolves and what comes.
Part of it has been the surprise of learning what each of us individually brings to the group and then what we collectively hold together.
Being at the Arcola, getting to be in a rehearsal space physically together, we haven't had that since our first project. So actually being in the room together, it's irreplaceable really.
During this process, we're going to have lots more R&Ds, we're going to have focus groups where we engage with people who are 50 plus so that we can show them sections of the work in development, receive their feedback, and that feedback will shape the work moving forwards.
I think it's a really exciting way of making it, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a production that's made up of the input of about 10 people really, when you take into account the writer, the actors, the director. And I think that's what's going to make this really stand out, is that it's not just one person's vision, it's one person's guidance over a group vision.
There's a ton of mystery. And when I say mystery, I mean the unknown. There is something between us that connects us. We are on a journey, and all we have is each other.
That The Pocket of Light was a dream for us, and when we put out our first production, we were all just pitching in and making it happen. But now it actually feels like it's coming together as a business, as a theatre company, as something that we can imagine existing in 10 years' time.
It's been wonderful, it's been challenging, it's been enlightening, it's been inspiring, and it's given me a lot of confidence now for the next phase of what we're doing. And hopefully we can take everything, this melting pot of truth and human experience and these initial bits of writing that we've got, we're going to take that, we're going to build on it, and hopefully really create something special.